Welcome everyone to Standard Randomized Swords daily race for Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. I'm sorry for the late start there, but I'm JTB, and joined tonight by me is Yoko on commentary for tonight.
Hello.
Hello, we're live.
So, as we were doing our intro there, our racers just picked up the level 1 sword from the chest in Link's house.
So kind of defeats the purpose there of randomized swords, because there we go, got the fire rod showing up. But I'm sure that having the sword there will help out for some early game routing. But anyways, so yeah, we have myself and Yoko doing commentary tonight. We have Maximini and Maybe or Not tracking for us. So hope you're all ready for a pretty exciting race.
And finishing up the part with the uncle, they also picked up the mitts as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice find early on. You know, especially if we see like a lamp pickup, we may see someone rush like early Death Mountain, which would be a pretty interesting play. But definitely having that first item for Dark World access is really nice.
What kind of seed are you hoping that our racers are going to get tonight?
What kind of what are you hoping that we see tonight?
What kind of seed are you hoping to see our racers get tonight?
Well, just after the daily earlier today, I'm really hoping that our racers don't have to go through another Master Sword Ganon, and just pretty much a low heart run. So I hope this is a pretty generous seed. I personally like seeds that give front load you with a lot of items, so that way you can you just have a lot of different options available right off the bat instead of just having it be super linear. What about you?
One that makes them, I like to see one that makes them work for it. But also I like to see pedestal.
Ooh, I'm always down for a pedestal seed, I'm not gonna lie.
Hopefully we don't have to
far.
I get one fight.
Oh, I'll stick with pedestal. Dragon one, no. What is this?
And the hammer.
So very generous seed. But we're already one item away, the Moon Pearl from Dark World access. Like I said, just getting all these items really early. I mean, it's interesting to see just the different routes that people take when they have a lot of the map, you know, open up to them.
The escape. Where do you think they're going to go now with these items? Think they're going the normal way into Kakariko?
Yeah, I don't think we'll see any divergence just yet. Kakariko just has so many items available that there's no reason to skip it unless, you know, something else comes up. Also, didn't get a chance to introduce our runners because we had that really quick start. We got Solski in the top left, Chisame in the top right, Voidburn Beast, who apparently is going for last place according to his names, in the bottom left, and then Scrub Casual on the bottom right.
I wish all of our racers the best of luck.
So these runs generally take about 1 hour and 30 to 2 hours. I only know a couple of these runners, but I imagine all of them should be able to get under 2 hours from what we've just seen so far. But we've had some seeds that can go over 2 hours, ones that are not very generous, require multiple dips into dungeons that aren't required. Doesn't look like that's appearing to be this kind of seed though, so I'll remain confident that this will be a pretty fast seed.
I remember the first one that I... Oh, and there's the powder! Powder and escape.
Yeah, powder's nice early on, especially if you haven't gotten Kakariko yet and you have the hammer. You can just take out the Mad Bat or right away. Voidborn, if you didn't notice, everyone has a bomb. Everyone's just kind of spending extra time farming for that bomb, so that way you don't have to come back and grab the backup escape later on. So it's a pretty
There's
common
3
tactic.
chests.
Yeah, those 3 chests are super useful.
And let's see what we have in them today. Solsky goes in there. Bombs, the map, and the master.
Yeah, this is a super generous seed already.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing everyone, at least being streamed, has bombs to grab that, because that will really help out just early game, just doing damage to various enemies like at Moldorn Cave.
See that master sword back there.
Alright, so now we're finishing up the escape sequence, just about just over 6 minutes. Pretty nice time in my opinion. Like I said, I expect all of these runners to probably go straight to Kakariko. Maybe take that detour into Lost Woods. It's always a safe bet. Just to check Lumberjack Cave and grab the 2 items there too. Looks like we have our top 2 runners doing that already. We'll see what our bottom 2 runners do as well.
The tree pole with nothing but hearts this time.
Also, I see some people asking about just Randomizer in chat. So this is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomizer. Essentially what it is, it takes all the items in the game and just randomizes exactly where they can show up. There's still internal logic to ensure that you don't get soft locked, but you can definitely see these kind of situations where you have a hammer, master sword, mitts, fire rod, or not mitts, power glove, and fire rod before even exiting Sanctuary. So it leads to some pretty wacky seeds.
Level 3 sword in the Lost Woods.
We're not even 10 minutes in and we already have Tempered Sword. Master Sword to Tempered Sword is such a huge just upgrade. I'm sure they're very happy to see that. Also, it doesn't appear... Okay, no, they both did grab the Master Sword. Okay, good. So everyone's going to have that level 3 sword early on. So we're not going to see that Master Sword Ganon, which I'm sure is a huge relief for them. And yes, all the swords, as well as the Power Glove and tunics, those are all still progressive. So you can't find the Golden Sword and then later on find the Fighter Sword. It's all going to show up. I'll be progressive. So even if you find one and don't grab it right away, later on it'll be upgraded if you happen to find the sword upgrade in that short time. And also to point out, this mode, if you're not familiar with it, standard randomized swords. Standard itself is your typical escape sequence that you have to go through, so that way you're not having to put off Hyrule Castle for later. Randomized swords gives you 1 of 7 different weapons at the start of the escape sequence for you to do. So you can have things such as, the normal sword or the fire rod that you can see. Or you can just get 10 bombs and just be forced to kill all the enemies with bombs. So it leads to some pretty cool different tactics that you need to know, going into a seed like this. Oh yeah, you're right. It is 15 bombs now. A little bit more generous.
Nothing much in the back of the cave in Kakariko Village.
Tell you what, they're rich as heck, though.
Yep. Well, at least to go see Zora now. Just a piece of art from the bottle guy.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who haven't seen a randomizer race, this is extremely standard routing. Generally, after finishing Escape, you're going to go to Kakariko because there's just so many items that show up there. A lot of this game is dependent on routing, how you go across the overworld itself. So These players right now, this is a route that's pretty standard, but we should see some divergence. And hopefully someone opens up a savings account too, pretty soon.
What the bat gives us today.
So just a heart piece from that's one kind of thing about this, you know, even if the game kind of it's not always a given that you're going to get something terribly useful. I mean, I'm sure the heart right now is kind of nice for this early game when you're kind of weak still, you don't have, you know, blue tunic or anything. But later on in this seed, you're going to be wanting to find those progression items that you haven't found just yet.
What's on top of the book cell? Looks like bombs.
I think it was a blue tunic, actually. So we'll see if anyone actually comes back for that later on. I don't think Scrub had went to the Mad Battery yet, so it's putting him a little bit ahead. Yeah, it looks like he's one heart lower.
Down towards Swamp House. Down towards the swamp.
Silsky and Chisame opting to grab the bottle. The reason for that is because there's the bottle kid in Kakariko that you need to have a bottle in order to get an item from him. Like I said, it's one of those things always guaranteed that there is an item, but we'll find out pretty shortly if it's needed.
And Scrub just picked up the Quake medallion.
So that'll be nice for later. Usually you want to see stuff like Pegasus boots early on, but I did not see what Sick Kid had, unfortunately. My stream just missed it.
I didn't get to pick that up either myself.
I'm assuming it was worthless though, because he threw a bomb at the Sick Kid, which, you know, is a pretty good way to cure sickness.
Scrub in the mini Mordorm cave.
Alright, so giving Sick Kid just a taste of his own medicine, I'm down for it. I can respect that.
In the Mordorm cave.
I think we had a half magic there showing up. So we're seeing a lot of this like late game stuff showing up pretty early. You know, the Quake, the Powder, half magic. Nothing particularly useful at this very moment. So Scrub heading up over to Ice Rod Cave. Despite the name, it's not always guaranteed that the Ice Rod will be there. In fact, it's a pretty low chance the Ice Rod will show up there. But given that we're in like the early game, there's a very high chance that we could find a progression item there, since it's available from the start of the game. Or we could just find 5-ball upgrade.
Look like I saw Tower of Hera as a crystal.
Yeah, I would expect them to go there pretty soon. But right now they have no way to get to Hera. This is actually a pretty linear seed so far. There's been nothing that's been grabbed that just says, you know, go here. So right now, every runner appears to just be doing the standard routing, you know, Kakariko to South Shore to Eastern Palace. So we should get something pretty fast. I imagine a blue pearl will probably be right here for Scrub. or not, just a bunch of money.
Um,
But there should be a moon pearl in the Eastern Palace to pick up.
$60.
So every light world dungeon being a crystal, actually not really a situation you want to see very often. The reason for that is that means that you're going to have your dark world dungeons, which are usually a lot longer. Some of them are going to be pendant dungeons, and there's going to be that gamble on whether or not you want to go in them, because they could contain items that you need to like complete the game. So I'm kind of interested to see which ones will be pendant and who will take those gambles early on.
Hopefully they don't have to go into Ice Palace.
Ice Palace is always a little bit rough. I know if Zelnus is here, he'd be telling me to go to Ice Palace. Pendant Glow is definitely a possibility. I don't think we will see it show up because we do need to see that progression immediately. Namely, just that moon pearl is the next thing that people are going to find. Bow early is really nice though, because usually it ends up being
the
one of
lamp.
those late game items. Yeah, there's your lamp. So that could that technically does open up Death Mountain, but really if any of these runners wanted to go to Death Mountain so far, they probably would have just done the Dark Room instead.
He's going to go see the hobo underneath the bridge.
So it's interesting, Void is currently doing a sequence break using the fake flippers because you're not supposed to be able to get to this part yet without finding the flippers. So if he finds like a progression item right now... Oh, that is huge! So flippers are going to be in Eastern, it looks like. Oh my god, what a gamble to take. I would never think about taking a gamble like that. So Void currently has that Dark World access that he shouldn't technically have right now. You're supposed to have the flippers to them, but using a minor glitch called fake flippers, he's able to get over to that hobo. And you can see just how much that pays off for you, because now he doesn't have to worry about finding the flippers that everyone else is going to have to do. We still don't know where it is. It could be Eastern, it could be in Agana's cave, it could be in Death Mountain.
Could be right here in the fairy cave.
Oh no, it wouldn't be in there. So you still need to do fake flippers in order to get into the fairy cave, but it could be at Zora though.
Just a arrow upgrade and rupees.
I'm actually surprised Void is not kind of taking that advantage to go straight to like Thieves Town or
Ooh, cane! Got a cane up there on the ledge.
So you won't be able to grab it, unfortunately, but because you do need the flippers to get that, but you can still get all the way to Zora. And I can imagine if Pyramid has the flippers, that could... Shoutouts to Void for doing a play like that. That's super cool.
We got Scrub going back into the camp. We got Scrub going back to Hyrule Castle.
So yeah, he's taking the gamble that you need to be doing Aghanim 1 to get that pyramid access. So we'll find out pretty soon if that's what the logic is supposed to have you do. Chisame going up to Death Mountain, which I think is a little bit more reasonable play right now. Aghanim is something you want to put off until the very end. And then Soulspeed going over to Desert, so all players are going completely different ways at this point. Avoid forgetting in midst. This is take the long way around. So hopefully flippers are not on pyramid, because that would be a very miserable seed. Oh, it gets blocked by the dead now. I actually got blocked there, today too. It's so hard
Ouch.
to dodge all those boulders. Don't die.
Hey.
Okay, good.
Bombs from the old guy. And he died too.
That's okay, because he still got the checkpoint.
Yes.
It would have been worse if he had died with Old Man. You still get respawn, but it's so low of a time loss.
And it looks
So
like
nothing
Skull
in
Woods
Desert.
is a pendant.
Oh, I did not see. Oh, I just missed it.
It looks like Skull Woods happened to be a pendant dungeon.
So Skullwoods, Pendant, Thievestown, Pendant, and Pod Pendants. Not not dungeons I would want to see as pendant ones, because Thievestown is open right away, and it's one of those dungeons that could have progression. Same with Pod too. There's just so many items in Pod that it's hard to pass it up. I don't think Solsky saw that he got the checkpoint for the Old Man. Oh wait. Oh no, I'm wrong. I'm thinking of... Alright, now we get to see what's on Spectacle Rock and where these flippers are gonna be. I like the delve into Skullwoods. It's right there as soon as you get into the Dark World. It's so like appealing to just go in it right away and just grab those two items, and there they are, flippers on Death Mountain. So Aghanim 1 not required by logic.
I'm just gonna find out the hard way about that.
Yeah, Aghanim 1 is just not a fun. It's such a just huge investment in time that you often want to, just be looking everywhere for that progression item before you go ahead and complete it. Still, it's pretty early on in the race, so despite taking the time to do Aghanim 1, we don't even know really, with the exception of Void, we don't really know who's ahead between the other three.
At least this way we'll also find out what's in the pyramid too.
Good job. Both Solsky and Shami going just straight to Hobo. Generally the first place you're going to check when you grab the flippers, just because it's right there before you go all the way up to like Zora. So I imagine they'll get the Pearl, and they're just going to go straight to Kakariko, get that save and quit.
There's Aghanim 1.
Alright, we got 8-bit Meat Boy climbing down the pyramid.
Rock is
What do we got? Oh man, just 20 rupees. He's got to be thinking, okay, what did I not go to? He didn't grab the bottle, so he may be thinking, maybe the bottle had something. Or bottle kit had something. No, it looks like he's making his way up Death Mountain, so he should be quickly getting back on track. Meanwhile, Void just about to, looks like, clear out Skullwoods. I didn't see if he grabbed the two items just yet. We'll find out right now if he leaves or if he goes after Mothula. Yeah, it looks like Mothula has either Big Key or the last item. Solsky and Shami.
Boomerang. And he passes up the. That was the boomerang that Zora had, the red one.
Yeah, a little bit less useful than the blue one, surprisingly. You can use the blue one to set up some neat dashes in Ganon's tower, but the red one you can't.
King of Brian and
So avoid going into Mothula with just 6 hearts and green tunic. Kind of, I mean, not too much of a risky play, but he's gonna really have to watch his movement to avoid those spikes. But with Fire Rod, Tempered, and Half Magic, you should be able to clear this pretty fast. Really nice setup for Mothula, by the way. He's not hanging out by the spikes at all. And there we go. Pretty quick kill, like 10-15 seconds looks like. Grabbing Bombos. So we'll see if that's needed later on. Ooh, and we got Mitts and Hype Cube. So Solsky and Chisame opting and go to the bottom part of Dark World first. Kind of a risky play if you don't have Mitts because you don't know if you're going to be able to get into Kakariko, but clearly that was the right play because now you can make that overworld tour all the way back to Village of Outcasts.
And then I think there was also the red cane that Chasm picked up as well.
Yeah, so red cane will help a lot. Opening up Mire and Turok, which are both required later on. I'm sure they, I'm glad they're not gonna have to look for it, but it's not terribly useful just right now, at least.
Checking out Pyramid. I think that was the single arrow that was picked up the chest game.
Yeah, I believe that's just the normal, one of the game prizes, but not necessarily one of the items of find in the randomizer. Usually the first item is just one of the game prizes, and then the second one is that randomizer one. There's actually a audio cue that tells you that's the treasure, so that way you can't be confused. So Chisame making his way into, Solsky making his way into pod. A pretty early pod play, to be honest. Especially if this first item ends up being ends up bow locking you for the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah. Not get to complete though either.
All right, so going back to the race, so we got Pendant Thieves Town. We'll see if he looks like he's going to the back as well. So let's
That's
keep
the
picking
case.
I
We
think
exited out.
I think he ran out of keys, so he's not
Yeah.
going to be able to go any further into that bow. So kind of it's kind of nice, so that way you don't have to dedicate yourself too long to clearing a pendant dungeon.
Right.
And yes, the upcoming tournament, which I believe it just hit a cap of 512 participants,
Right.
will be this game mode that we're seeing.
It actually hit cap during the 2 p.m. race. During that race. Hey.
So no crystals yet. We actually don't have access to any crystal dungeons. Hera still needs mirror or hookshot. Eastern needs that bow, and then we need book for which Void has. I think he just actually picked that up for Desert.
Came out in Ice Palace.
Oh right, yeah, we got Ice Palace. You know what? I don't even think about Ice Palace 30 minutes into a race. More so not as the first dungeon I want to full clear. But I mean, he has all the tools for it. The Tempered Sword is going to be really nice. Kind of scary going in against Cold Stare though, with only 6 hearts, because I believe that's just 2 hits and you're done. But the half magic fire rod should make it pretty safe for him to kill Cold Stare.
At least found him in one.
So Solskjaer setting up, I think, for the bomb jump. I'm not sure just yet. It's kind of risky with not having a lot of hearts, because that's definitely pretty valuable later on, but we'll see what he does if he hits the switch at the end of this room. Yeah, it looks like he's going to skip the bomb jump and just go through like normal, which I think in this kind of scenario is the better option. So Voidborn going over to Blind now. I haven't checked his item count, but I expect that there's still one more item left, since there's no reason to kill Blind if it's only a dungeon item.
And Scrub's going over to the digging game. So we got today down there.
Ooh, Solskjaer setting up for this bomb jump. Kind of a tricky one to do. Nice, he nails it first try. Well, I guess you only get one try for that one.
And a heart container, the digging game that Scrubs picks up.
Yeah, definitely needed when you only have a few hearts. So we're gonna see another bomb jump. One, I think the hardest one to do in the game. Since normally you're supposed to have hook shot, Solskjaer just making us look like complete scrubs though. But runs right into the spikes, almost dies there, has that clutch red potion.
It uses the cane to stare.
It looks like we didn't get anything from value from Blind, unless I missed the item being tracked. But we still have the green pendant to give to Sahasra, which
I can never
progression.
I can never pronounce that guy's name.
So the goal isn't to pronounce his name right. it's to pronounce it just as wrong as possible. That's how I found it.
And Scrub's picking up the red cane from Height Cave.
Ooh, Solsky taking a hit from that that turret there. Don't know the name of them actually. I'm sure there is a specific
Neither
name.
do I. Enemies that... One of those enemies that probably only showed up in one game.
Right. But Solsky grabbing the last item here. Just another key. I believe he still has the big chest as well to check. So we'll see if that does yield an item too.
Did he pick up
Oh,
the chest in that room where... Oh, he picked up the chest in that room where you had to use the hook shot to get across the spikes?
Yeah, he's been doing all these bomb jump. Oh, he ran over. That's gonna... He's not gonna be able to get back in there now without going all the way through. You can see that frustration throwing those bombs there. Because you need the hook shot in order to glitch through those blocks there. Looks like he's deciding to actually go all the way back. Oh, that's the wrong pot. There it is. Tommy also about to finish Thieves Town and be a little bit disappointed.
Scrub now and
Scrub's a little bit weak and he doesn't have a bottle. He does have that powder for the anti-fairies, but it's a little while before those ones show up. Clean kill on blind for Chisami. And he's just gonna find those blue rubies.
I would be surprised if this seed actually gave them to be on pedestal.
Also, GG to Solsky for landing that bomb jump. A little bit of a bust though, so he's gonna throw some bombs in there to just show us that he was really hoping for an item there. Yeah, and Scrub taking that Death in Ice Palace. Like I said, it's a pretty difficult dungeon without a lot of stuff, like a lot of armor. Solsky actually not going for the anti-fairy. Let's see if he turns around again and goes for it.
How's him doing the pig cave? Just find a single rupee in the pig cave today. And down there, right? But making his way over to desert. Back here we have. In the cave. Making quick work of cold still. And just 50 rupees from the haunted grove. Okay. Go down in the Desert Palace. There. Going into Skull Woods. Picking up the cape. Palace.
It's kind of far away from go mode for all of these runners. Right now we're looking at boots, bow, hookshot, ice rod, possibly ether, depending on what Meyer and T-Rock is.
Any ideas on where you think they are?
I'll say at this point, like, it's hard to tell where hookshot is gonna be.
My guess would have to be on pedestal. Right.
And I did not see, where did Voidborn pick up Mirror? I just missed that completely.
I was keeping an eye on
Ooh, was that the green pendant turn in? Oh, what a twist of events. So that means that that blind kill is needed. Kind of a scary seed as far as routing. Just a lot of these items being in kind of obscure locations for progression. So Chisame going through Ice Palace as well. Scrub also making, a second go at it, having a little bit more health. I believe Chisame does have a bottle, whereas Scrub does not have his just yet.
Scrub still doesn't have a bottle yet. Still scared. And I apologize if I do pronounce any of the runners' names incorrectly.
So that mirror being picked up does open up Eastern Death Mountain as well as Dark World Death Mountain. So it is possible that, in order to find that progression, since they're all going to places each one of them has already gone to, it may be possible that, killing blind, grabbing the mirror is the correct play.
Also, caves over there in Eastern Mountain as well.
That is correct. So the green pendant can only be a dungeon boss completion item, but there's always the gamble on whether or not you need it. It's not very often that green pendant gives you an item when you bring it back to Sahasrara. But Voidborn apparently is making all the correct plays this game, and did get it pretty early on. Is the only one with Mir so far.
Yes. I will probably go and see what's the blue side of the mountain.
So Voidborn heading up to Death Mountain. We'll see, what exactly is up there. We'll see how long before Chisame goes over to Sashala to turn in that green pendant and go up there, but it's really a gamble on how long it takes Solski and Scrub to do the same.
Taking a death.
Scrub is really determined to finish Ice Palace, and I don't blame him. You can finish it. There could be progression in it. It's just it's not that fun to have to go there that early without hook shot, without a bottle on his end. It's not so much a gamble, but more so of do I want to find some extra hearts? Void. Now, I imagine Void has to be feeling pretty good right now about doing that sequence break to grab that those flippers at this point. Stuff like that, seeing a successful gamble really can make you determine, do I want to take more gambles? Do I want to play this super straight? But regardless, I'm sure he's feeling pretty good about that now.
And the book was in the Shisei house. That's where they got the book from.
Ooh. I don't know if he had Chisame taking that unfortunate death, the cold stare. I feel for these runners. I really do not like having to go to Ice Palace this early, and you can see both Chisame and Scrub are struggling a lot with it. But I respect that they're constantly going after it over and over until they do finish it.
Determination, and Void checking out the tablet up there on Death Mountain. And it's just a piece of art.
So Voidward head into Hera. Pretty standard play. We'll see him go to Hera, finish up East Death Mountain, probably go to Darkworld Death Mountain as well. We'll get some information on whether or not, Turlock, we need an medallion for it or not. Chisame having a little bit of trouble with that crystal. Fortunately missed the bomb there, but looks like he's in good shape now. We're finding the Ice Rod 2 in Hera, so check off another item for Turtle Rock. Looks like he's electing to not do the bomb jump here and just probably go straight to the floor above it and drop down. Yeah, I agree. I believe Bo would probably be showing up on Death Mountain to kind of give that access to Pod as well as Eastern.
Question. The main question they gotta be thinking is where on Death Mountain is the bow. It's there. With the hold on fight.
Pretty clean fight. Tempered Sword just making quick work of Moldorm. Ooh, now we get to see if he goes into the basement. Looks like he's actually deciding not to. I didn't check his item, so I don't know if he already picked up 2 or not. I'm assuming he did, because leaving that basement item could be, you know, a pretty big risk. But we'll see what happens.
He only cleared the front left side. He picked up that key.
Right.
On the floating island, we just have a red rupee.
So we got Ice Rod, and I don't know if he picked up anything else like a rupee or arrow upgrade.
Oh.
Oh, Scrub is about to finish a Cold Stare. Nice! 1 hit away from dying too, and he managed. I'm sure he's feeling really good about that.
He picks up the full.
Solsky going for the blind kill too, so maybe he's thinking about that green pendant as well.
Damn. Solsky takes down blind.
Right, so there was nothing at the ether tablet.
No. I think it was just half containing. Down Death Mountain.
Now here's something I don't think we've seen yet, the hammer pegs. I don't think any of the runners have gone over to it just yet.
I think Chasm did. It's only got 1 rupee in it.
Oh, okay. Nothing so far for Voidborn, but we still have a lot of locations to check. Fortunately, Hookshot Cave will be completely blocked off, even without boots, so hopefully, you know, Hookshot shows up pretty soon. Going out, instead of going up to Tarrock, looks like, okay, so he's just going to open up, go into Dark World from here instead.
We got Chasm in Desert Palace.
Hookshot can definitely be in Tarrock, although I do not wish that for any of our runners.
No, that would be too trolly for them.
And no one had Mirror 2 when they're doing Skullwood, so we don't know what's on pedestal just yet. So we do have 2 runners that have the green pendant, but neither of them have actually gone to turn it in just yet. We'll see how long it takes Chisame and Solsky to do so, because I'm sure, you know, they are trying to think about, you know, where this mirror could be.
We are getting a world tour with the frog. Onto the Grove, this is 50 rupees.
Solsky opting to do the mirrorless breadsmith. Fun fact, if you pick him up and you save and quit, you can go back to the light world, so that way you can turn him in. Ooh, we got bombos for Total Rock. I think we're gonna be seeing that dip into it. Yeah, Pod is currently bow locked. It did not have any progression items for the chests that were available.
And I guess and Spolsky looks like he's checking out the ledge. Did you get to see what was on the ledge? Or Desert Palace?
Did not see that. My stream actually just froze for a second. Spolsky not remember that you cannot go into a dungeon with the breaths falling in. You gotta get rid of it.
And tossing some bombs in frustration.
Be cool to have him on your side, maybe, do some damage to enemies.
Yeah.
Avoid having to do the slow torch room strat due to not having hookshot, taking a long way around.
There's the boots.
There we go. What are those? Those are boots. So that'll open up a desert and just make overworld travel a lot easier. But still, you can full clear Total Rock right now, and if you can do it, just go for it. Having a double dip Total Rock is not a fun thing to do whatsoever.
And from the smithies, it's just a piece of art.
Solsky looks like he's not having the best time. First he's bombing the blacksmith, now he's just exploding their whole, residence.
Kind of looks like he's a little bit lost on where to go next. From all that.
Yeah, the green pendant can definitely, shake up some people. It's not something you would think that you need. Oh, we're gonna get a pedestal check, it looks like. I think if you're gonna have to gamble on, getting that green pendant, it's a good idea to go ahead and turn it in right away to see if it was worth it. But both Solsky and Samia just hold on to it for so long. We'll see if Scrub goes there right away, because he just got his green pendant too.
And it's just a piece of art.
I would not be surprised if the seed did have that boing boing.
Oh, hook shot!
There we go. We got.
There's the hook shot.
Turtle Rock definitely being the place to go. So let's talk about this seed. First, you got Flippers on Death Mountain, Moon Pearl on Hobo, and then you have, Green Pendant, Thieves Town, which leads to Mirror, which leads to Turtle Rock, which has Boots and Hookshot. Pretty hard seed the route if you're not expecting something like that. Yeah, Chisame is using Toho. Don't know the exact name of the character, unfortunately. I'm sure someone in chat knows. Marisa?
Final Fantasy.
Oh, Solsky still doesn't know.
At least we'll get to see what's in the chest. He's taking the chest over to the
Yeah, just 10 arrows in the purple chest. It's not often that you see anything from purple chest. It's usually something that people will try to skip if they can. Voidborn almost getting to the end of Turtle Rock. And for our other 3 runners, just a question of turning in that green pendant. There it is. She saw me finally grabbing that. Probably gonna head straight over to Death Mountain at this point. Yeah, the mirror does open up swamp, so that could have progression in it. Hopefully it's not on the left side. That's not something I'd ever wish on anyone, since left side swamp is not a fun place to go.
On the laser bridge with Void.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything of value from Laser Bridge. Which is fine. I mean, he picked up a lot of progression already, so he has a lot of this work open up to him. Also, taking a look into the IRC for this channel, looks like we have a lot of people not having a fun time with this seed, and I don't blame them at all.
Voidburn on Trinex now.
Yeah, it looks like he missed 1 hit on the left, or 2 hits, 3 hits. 2 hits on the left head. So switch over to the fire rod a little bit. So he's having a really fun time with that book. Probably looking for cheats.
See what we got from Trinex. Dust bombs.
Which is fine, because, like I said, he has a lot of the map open up. And yeah, these seeds that front load you with items doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a jet seed. It can often bottleneck you into these situations where you just can't get any progression until you do one specific thing.
Checking that hookshot cave.
We'll see if he opts to go over to, oh, there it is! The D is in the house. So at this point, we're just waiting for the flute to show up to get over to Meyer. Ooh, a blue mail has to be pretty nice at this point. Hookshot was at the big key chest in Turtle Rock, which also had boots too.
I was picking up his mirror.
Void headed over to Spike Cave. Might as well go ahead and get that out of the way too, especially at Cape. Just a rupee, unfortunately, but still, he has a lot of places to go now. Yeah, we don't know if it's go mode just yet because we don't know what the Meyer medallion is at this point. There's a 66% chance that we would be in go mode, but there's that small chance it could be ether too.
33.3 chance it could be that.
So now Void's gonna head through all. Having that Turtle Rock down already is definitely putting him at a pretty significant lead over everyone else. But we'll see if that search for the flute kind of brings people, back on the same page. Shisami is currently using a Marisa sprite from Toho. So one cool little thing about Randomizer is that there's a bunch of custom sprites you can use, for your races. You got Super Meat Boy in the bottom right, you got Toho in the top right, you got the ball and chain guard in the top left, and then I think that's just a cat in the bottom left. It's not Carfield, it's just a normal cat.
It either looks like a cat or a fox on my screen.
I mean, my opinion is if you're not playing as the eyeball from Vitreous, then why are you even playing Randomizer? Yeah, that looks like a fox. The Carfax fox. It's gonna show us the Carfax.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the money that we found this seed, wouldn't be surprised if they decided to take a side trip. We'll try to find a new car or a used car to sell or to buy. So I'm entering Turtle Rock as well, while Scrub and Solsky finish up Hera, both pretty close to each other.
We've seen Sasuke at least go into, I think he went into Desert Palace, but never finished it. We're just about to finish.
All right, I'm back and all right, Voidborn clearing up desert.
Just
Still hasn't done ice spells yet. So definitely our other runners have that advantage in not having to do ice palace just yet. But if Voidborn happens to find the flute, then he can definitely go ahead and go mode Ice Palace, making it significantly faster. Also has the hook shot too, so that will make it a lot easier not having to do certain bomb jumps.
I believe they're also running out of places to check for a lot of the missing items.
Yeah, we have Swamp Palace, I think, is the one place that people have not gone to of our 4 racers. Not too surprised though, because you really want to be able to go mode Swamp Palace. And then we have not seen the back end of Pod yet due to it being bow locked. So those are the 2 areas of interest that I want to see at this point.
I don't think we've seen the Kingston yet, right?
Right, because once they got the mirror, they all went up to Hera right away. So King's Tomb, Graveyard Ledge, as well as the Bunk Rocks next to Sanctuary have not been checked. Now Pod is not technically dead yet. Pod could be... Oh wait, no, just kidding. It was a piece of fart. Sometimes you just really want there to be an item on pedestal and you just completely forget that someone had already checked it. Still, though, Helmasaur could be required depending on what item he holds. Namely, Ether for Meyer if it's required, or the flute. So the rules for Randomizer, essentially you have to collect the 7 crystals and defeat Ganon. Where the crystals could be in different places. The items required to get those crystals could be different. That's really all there is to it. Solski's having a real fun time right now.
Picked up his cape.
Nice, Solski finding his boots. So the difference between this specific category and your normal standard is that you're not always guaranteed a sword from Uncle at the start. Randomized swords can give you one of 7 different weapons to get through the escape sequence. It can be the sword, Cane of Burna, Cane of Samaria, Fire Rod bombs, hammer, and I believe there's one other one that I'm missing. So it kind of shakes it up a little bit.
It's good. Picking up the hook shot.
Alright, now we get to see what's in the Graveyard Ledge. Uncle can give you the D? I don't know if I would want that from Uncle. So nothing in the graveyard area. I'm really thinking it's going to be that pod play that is needed to find the flute. But really, do you want to, go do pod right now so you can possibly do a fast clear of Swamp Palace, or do you just go straight to Swamp Palace, clear left side, and just not take any risks?
If it was me, I'd probably clear out Pod first, and then go do Swamp.
Yeah, because you can just leave whenever you want.
Would you go to Pod first and then go do Swamp, or would you start Swamp and then jump out to do Pod and then jump back?
Especially with the bow being in Turtle Rock, I would think that the breadcrumbs, suggest going to Pod, but it's really hard to tell. Pretty much I would not be opposed to either play, to be honest. We'll see what our runners decide to do. I think right now, since he's already... But does he do left side? All right, and we see those gambles I was talking about. Void going to the swamp and Chisame going straight into Pod. So we'll see, which play does work out. Obviously, swamp is the safer play because it is a required dungeon. But getting that flute out of Pod could cut down a bit of overworld time travel. Scrub making a pretty quick work of Trinex, getting those 2 shots in to push him into the second phase. Solsky's starting his Trinex fight.
Doesn't keep from Pod.
So the 2 runners we definitely want to be keeping an eye on right now are Voidburn and Chisame, looking for that flute. Chisame making the probably the more risky play, but following the breadcrumbs to see if flute is in Pod, which is a pendant dungeon. But Voidburn going to the safer route, going to Crystal Swamp. Both Solsky and Scrub picking up their bows. We'll see what they get to do next too.
A few rupees from the big chest in the middle of Swamp.
Voidburn not taking the risk and going left side swamp, probably a good idea. Just to make sure that we're not leaving that flute behind by accident. There's a few items left for Chisame, so we'll see if this pod play was the correct one. He has the dark room, the big chest, and then, you know, possibly Helmasaur, so we could see Helmasaur die tonight if he does hold that flute. That would make all the Pendant dungeons required just for the items they hold and not necessarily for to pull on pedestal.
Okay. Picks up a bottle. I think that's his second one or his first?
I believe that was his second bottle. Oh, there it is! Voidborn picking up the flute and left side walk, making Pod absolutely... Well, actually, we don't know yet. There's the chance for Ether, but I believe Chisame picked up all the items there, so we don't need to see that Helmasaur death. But Voidborn possibly in go mode. I think it's called Schrodinger's go mode. Until we see that Meyer medallion that we don't know for sure, but there is a good chance that he is in go mode.
That is knowing mode.
Right, I think there's a pretty good chance for him to be in go mode. Reason for that is there's not a lot of locations to check still for Ether, given that they've cleared out just about every Pendant dungeon. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be either Bombos or Quake.
It's the level 2 shield.
Yeah, I'm not hoping Ganon's Tower for sure. Meyer could be the same as Turtle Rock. I've had plenty of seeds where they've been the same exact medallions. Voidburn about to go into phase 2 of Argus. Chisame clearing off his Armos Knight. Oh, almost gets that that quick kill off. Alright, what do we get from Argus then? Alright, so all the items are already picked up in Swamp. We still have Eastern, Ice, and Misery Mire to go through. I don't know, Chisame, it's hard to tell where Chisame is compared to Voidborn. Void does have a little bit better items, of course, right now. But he does have Ice Palace cleared already, which could take a little bit of time to go through. Void probably most likely a little bit ahead, but it could come down to what happens in Ganon's Tower. See, this is the curse of Swamp Palace, and being one item away from go mode. Runners just do not want to go to Swamp Palace at all, and you can see Silsky even skipping left side, which has the flute. It's just, it takes so much time to go through it that oftentimes when you actually end up skipping it, it ends up biting you in the butt.
You have to go all the way back and double dip back into it too to just pick up that missing item.
Alright, what is it gonna be? Yep, there it is, Quake. So Voidborn is indeed in go mode at this point. We're just gonna see him rush through all these dungeons at this point. While all our other runners are still missing flute. I believe that's the only item needed for all of them. Go mode miner is actually pretty nice too. You don't have to spend so much time going through it. It only has 2 items as well. Yeah, pod is not necessary at this point to enter, so that entry into pod, while definitely it made sense, I think, did not pay off. Oh no, Solski, don't do it! Go back! No!
Oh!
Scrub is skipping it too! Don't take that gamble.
They're probably betting that it's not in there.
I feel like you skip left side swamp until there's a that loot.
I get to Solskjaer going to check out Fat Fairy.
So Void in a really good spot right now. It's actually have not looked. Oh, we actually did have a finish. Hippos finished in first place with a 127.15, so about a minute ago. Must have pretty good routing doing that early blind and getting the mirror instead of doing that overworld search for it. So congrats to Hippos for getting that sub 130 on a seed like this.
Nothing really interesting in Fat Fairy Cave. We just had arrow operating arms.
Void going into his Argus fight. Looks like Scrub going back to left side, thankfully. Solski going a bit out of his way for that catfish.
It's just 20 rupees. 20 rupees.
Which at this point is just worthless.
Yes. Now you'll probably go check out the Meyer Shack.
No, there's no point to do that at this point. Sure, you can check it for maybe like Butter Sword or Silvers, but there's not a very high chance that they'll have either of them. So I think just going straight into dungeon clear mode is the best option.
Unless servers are in Ganon's Tower.
There is that possibility. And I think that's a better gamble to take, that you're going to find silvers in Ganon's Tower as opposed to just random overworld locations. A lot of forfeits coming in on this race too, by the way. Seems a lot of people didn't really like this seat. So we got 1 forfeit, 2 forfeits, 3 forfeits, 5 forfeits so far on this race. Can't blame them because this is a kind of a weird seed to have to route.
Besides our 4 featured, how many races entered into the seed as
Good amount of entrants. Let me double check. So we had 44 entrants for this race, which is pretty nice for Monday night. So definitely appreciate everyone that joined. We have another forfeit too, so shout outs to our pretty much our 2 people that don't have the flute, sticking with it, just looking everywhere. Scrub, doing his flute song, gonna be probably heading over to Meyer right away.
then he's taking the back entrance into the first set of Desert Powers.
Void entering his cold stare fight. Make pretty quick work of that too with that half magic and fire rod. Chisame entering into Swamp Palace, so we'll see if he makes that play too to skip left side. Hopefully not. But at this point, it's really anyone's gamble. It's really hard to tell if he's going to do it at this point.
I think you're probably think Sosuke will probably head back over to food or
Sosuke entering his Lammo's fight will be pretty easy. Just double fire rod shots to clear him. Doesn't get the 1 cycle, unfortunately. Has some weird RNG from that second Lammo, but clears it up as soon as he shows up afterwards. We are almost done for Void. About to enter Eastern Palace, which will be a super fast clear. Not having to go, I don't know where the big key was exactly in Eastern, so may not have to see him go to that vanilla big key location. All right, and it looks like we're having a bit of swap and commentators.
yeah, I'm gonna I gotta actually get ready to leave for work. So everyone have a good night and the runners here, and also shout outs to our trackers as well. And everyone, have a good night.
Have a good one, Yoko. Thanks for doing commentary.
Take care.
What's up, Zelnus? Oh, he's not talking to me. I'm sad.
There we go. Hey, we're here.
Hey, dude.
Hey, I was here. I said to switch a setting. Okay,
So, have you seen any of this race?
I have seen parts of this race on and off, but I've been watching a lot of stuff tonight. Lots of exciting stuff.
A lot of races going on.
Yeah, I was watching NMG. So we're totally. So I mean, one guy's in Eastern still. Oh wait, no, this is rando. Eastern late is fine.
Yeah, this is not, no major glitches,
Yeah.
an hour and 40-minute Eastern.
But yeah, so it looks like Voidborn significantly ahead. I know I saw him do an early play that worked out, like on Death Mountain with the mirror, and that was big.
Yeah, so what had happened early on is fake flippered over to Hobo and picked up the Moon Pearl, which was the last item for Dark World access. And Flippers ended up being on Death Mountain, which all the other players had to grab before getting the Moon Pearl. Scrub ended up doing Aghanim, thinking that Moon Pearl would have been on Pyramid. So that play really put Void ahead. And then he did the early blind fight, which got him the green pendant and led to the mirror, which everyone kind of just really hesitated on turning in, opting to just check like every other location first. So Void has a pretty significant lead
Yeah.
over our other racers right now.
Green Pendant's a weird one because you kind of want to avoid going anywhere near there, especially in standard randomized swords. What was their first items?
So they had a very loaded. Not a.
I'm just curious as to what the start item was, just for curiosity.
Oh, it was Fire Rod, but they got the Fighter Sword too in Link's house, along with Power Glove and Hammer, both in Escape. So they were pretty loaded coming out of Escape.
Yeah, it looks like Silver's is only on Scrub Casual, and he's actually. I see everyone kind of looks like they're in Go mode, just at varying stages of it, which is nice.
So Solsky actually skipped left side, which has the flute. So now he's just running all over the place. Yeah.
Oh, left side swamp?
Yeah.
Oh, he skipped it completely. Oh. That's... Huh. Okay. That is not exactly... It's interesting he skipped it, man. I would never skip it unless I am in Go mode. Like I'll sometimes do right side first, but then like I do left side before leaving the area. But there is only 2 chests, so V29 is, for people who don't know, biased towards the overworld, especially in standard mode. The dungeons are now, instead of the dungeons being, say, pod has 12 chests, so there's 12 chests, and there's the loot for Shizame. Instead of the 12 chests having 12 items, we have Swamp is 6 items, and it's weighted appropriately. So that the overworld is just a little bit more balanced. And it looks like we have Scrub Casual doing his last crystal, while we have Voidborn Beast going into GT with the bid key, or he already has the bid key. Wow, I was watching the other runners. This is interesting to see Solsky running around trying to find the flute when we now know where it is. Toyborn Beast going through the top parts of GT, but without silver, so he's gonna have to do the silverless, which is a bit annoying.
It does have that temper sword though, so it won't make it
Sure.
terribly difficult.
It's not the like 40 plus hits of silverless master sword. It's only 12 and then 12 and then sorry, it's just regular fight and then I think you have to hit him 12 times. Interesting fact, some people think that you have to spin phase 2, but you actually don't. You can just slash him. It's just spinning gives you like a better chance to hit him, obviously, because there's more frames of damage. Try to use Chaos Samaria in the Wizard Brim and Mire. Doesn't work super successfully. Misses the timing to get them all. Solski abusing sword beams. Orborn Beast having a bit of trouble in the 4th room.
We do have our second finisher, Ink Nun, from in the IRC with a 142.23. Keep in mind, our first was Hippo's 127, so 15-minute difference really just shows you, how kind of like hard this routing was for this seed.
Yeah, that didn't happen, especially with such crazy spots. Like, I've already heard silvers, then there's Lumberjack Ledge, like for silver, so that's gonna slow down a lot of people. Generally, silverless for a lot of people pushes a seed that they could have probably done in under 2, puts it above, just because of how good silvers are. So when silvers are either off the beaten path or nearly worthless to get, like in this one, you may even see runners do AGA, because you can actually just do AGA 1 right after doing AGA 2. Just mirror and then do high roll, and then you get sent to Dark World. So, it's convenient.
So yeah, to answer your question, Tweedled, Scrub skipped the bottle at the that one race game south of Kakariko. I forgot the exact name of it. So kind of a strange play given that Sick Kid was still an option at that point, but he's managed to get this far without it. So props to him.
Yeah, looks like Solski's headed to... Yeah, he's headed to Swamp. Excuse me, opted not to use the powder he had equipped on that, on the Bunny Bean, but he is just gonna cape, so that's fine. If you slash here, it's actually better if you're using the cape, because it doesn't use magic when you slash. So it's actually like slightly better to just rapid slash. He has half magic though, so it's not really a concern. If you are low on magic, you can do that strat though. You can cape, and then when you are slashing, during the slash it doesn't drain magic. So
I'll have to keep that in mind. I generally just forget that I have like bow for Vitreous and just try to kill him with Master Sword. Whoa, Solski finally going back to left side swamp. I feel for him because he opted to do so many locations after escaping it, going to like Catfish and stuff. And the seed has just not been good to him at all. So Voidborn entering his Aghanim fight. See what kind of pattern he gets here.
Mm-hmm. Could have double, but that's pretty hard when there's a guy right behind you.
Right.
I can't tell what
I
that
don't
was.
know. I think that was a double.
Oh, this one will be a free double unless I just, shot some blue balls. If you ever want free advice on this fight, focus on the clones rather than Adja himself.
Oh yeah, of course.
Every time. Some
He
people don't
knows.
realize that it's like even if you're sacrificing like the chance at a double using Adja himself, it's like just better to get single hit in guaranteed with the clone. Because they will always shoot a yellow ball if you did not know. That's a hot tip for the new players who may not know all of the mechanics. Yeah, we are going
Well,
into
if I can give another hot tip, don't skip left side swamp when you're not in go mode.
Yeah, that too. Good tip. Don't skip items in dungeons. Just complete dungeons if you can.
Especially before you know the logic that well.
Yeah.
Oh, what's he gonna do? Are we gonna see it? Oh, I thought we were gonna see a bombos on that chest. But Void entering phase 2 of Ganon. I didn't count his slashes, but I think he should be okay to push him over after this. Maybe missing 1 or 2. Yeah, he missed like 2 slashes.
Isn't the
Yeah, Solsky, we know you have the flute. First he was doing that with the book, and now he's doing it with the flute.
At least it's not the mirror sound from the GBA version.
Oh, I don't remember what that sounds like.
Oh, it's bad. I would do my impression right now, but we are watching a Ganon fight that's going into phase 4, and another runner in Ganon's tower, and another runner at the climbing up too. Nice quick Ganon's tower for everyone, like key-wise. No 23rd, which is sad because I like to watch people go through the basement. I think that all the rooms in the basement are really neato. Another thing Voidborn could do to make the fight go just a teeny bit faster, when you're lighting the torch, you can just wait for him to show up in the middle, near the middle of the room, and you can set up triples. Oh wait, no, he has. Never mind, right? He doesn't have silvers.
He doesn't have silvers.
Yeah. So yeah, no, he's doing it fine. Sometimes if he's at the other side of the room, it's sometimes just a good idea to let him teleport closer to you. You can squeeze in just a few more hits sometimes.
Solsky is heading over to Meyer now that he has the flute. So flute was his go mode item.
Yeah.
While all the other runners had it
not too long. He's really good. This will not take him very long.
Oh no, of course. Go mode, Meyer? I think the big key was actually really early too. But we have almost a cleared Ganon fight. Just 1 or 2 more slashes, I believe. Oh, kind of. There we go.
Yeah.
GG. So we do have other racers going, but out of our 4, we have Void winning among our stream racers, but taking 6th place between all the racers with a time of 1:49.50. Made some really excellent plays doing that sequence break to Moon Pearl. Just his routing overall was pretty great. So GG to him. Also want to point out, so Scrub, he did Aghanim 1. He died a few times in Ice Palace, but look at where he's at right now. He's still ahead of Solsky and Shisame. So his execution's been really on point. So we'll get a dot done from him pretty soon as well. So let's see if we can get Void in here. for an interview. Kind of want to talk to him about how he felt after that, finding that moon pearl. He'll be coming in pretty soon.
With that, we do have a runner on their way to either to Wine and Ganon, and then our last runner in Go mode. Yeah, I don't think he can sub 2 at this point. Oh, Eastern's done, maybe. Solstice's, like I said, Solstice's really good. Probably statistically the best runner in this race, but he's also likes to gamble. So that east side play is the kind of thing that I could definitely see Solstice do, and normally it would pay off. Normally left side swap is nothing. So
right, and Ganon Big Tower was in the first chest too, so you know, possibly he may be able to pull it off.
His movement's insane, and his boss fights are really good. But Silverless Ganon, even with this, not too. Pumping normal arrows into him. That's actually faster than slashing by a significant amount. There is a cheese strat with the hammer that you can do at the top right corner of the wall.
And we are joined by Voidborn Beast. GG, dude. No, I don't think we can hear your mic.
There we go. Sorry, muted.
Oh, there it is. No problem. GG, man.
Yeah, thanks. I have no idea how that happened.
Well, your play, from what I hear, was really good. Your routing was significantly better.
Yeah, that Moon Pearl sequence break, or at least to the hobo, I mean, that just put you ahead immediately of everyone else.
I'm really prone to doing fake flippers while I'm down there, so.
It's a common thing, but it's actually, a lot of people won't do it without Moon Pearl, so.
I didn't think about that until I jumped into the water. They're like, wait, I can't get into Waterfall Cave.
Yeah, it's very now. Funny enough, in the last tournament, that was a very common play to just fake flipper to hobo, and then save and quit. That was how you ended. You either went to Ice Rod Cave or hobo. You usually didn't do both. You put one or the other off in the fall, but that was before the Waterfall Fairy. The Waterfall Fairy changed everything. They found the way to restore your fake flip from hobo, things like that. So no, your play is not only normal, but it used to be what everyone did in the fall tournament. Go watch fall tournament VODs. That's what people did. So good job.
That's where a lot of my knowledge actually comes from, is the fall tournament and even the spring tournament from last year. So.
That's what I meant. The spring tournament is when that was the most common start, because everyone started the same because it was standard. We're gonna see that, but to a lesser extent because of the random weapons soon. Like if you guys all had bow, someone in this race was going to Eastern first.
Oh my god, the weapons at the start here. Here, have a sword. I got confused. Like, right, you can't use sword until you actually talk to Uncle, so I was sitting there rubbing my face on a bush.
Don't worry, that's something that most people don't know. Oh. Hello, Scrub Casual.
Hey guys.
GG, Scrub.
GG.
So,
right?
I took a lot of gambles I probably shouldn't have, but yeah.
But dude, your execution's so freaking good.
I appreciate that.
You did.
Apparently not the bomb jumps.
Yeah, like, how many times did you die in Ice Palace? Like 3 times or so?
The last time was intentional, because the second bomb jump, I practiced it, but I'm not good at it. So I just died to reset back. But like, God, I went in there I forgot I didn't have hook shot. So I went in thinking like, okay, this is gonna be easy clear. And that's why I left right after I died the first time, so I was hoping to find hook shot somewhere.
Yeah, that one jump without hook shot's a little bit rough. But you definitely made a lot of time back, still getting a sub 2 hour and just finishing a few minutes after Void, who had some really good gambles and was really far ahead for most of the race. I wanted to point out that Solsky actually skipped left side swap and proceeded to pretty much 100%.
No. I almost did the same thing. Oh, man.
So,
It's one of those things where, like, every time there's something left side and I don't go to it, it's always an item I need. Every single time. So I've told myself I'm never going to skip it from now on.
Yeah, I even mentioned this too in the race. I feel like you skip it until you miss an item there, and then you just never skip it again in any other race. So I'm sure Solsky is going to be doing the same. So yeah, what a seed. 2 of the pendants being required just for the items they drop. The mirror being locked behind green pendant was like the big question of where that mirror was going to be. So once Void found it pretty early on, everyone else just kind of like ran around a bit till they turned it in. So a lot of just bottlenecks in this seed between the flippers and the mirror.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I almost always go Thieves Town, even though it's pendant. I'll still usually do it straight first, but for some reason tonight, I decided not to. And I lost probably like 5-10 minutes alone just from going through the rest of the area before I went back to Thieves Town.
Yeah, it's a weird gamble. I don't really know, what the right call is, but yeah, I think the safer play is just to always do it no matter what. But really, I would not have expected this seed to turn out the way it did, with how many bottlenecks there were.
What I'm interested to see is with the silvers Aga-locked, I wonder how many of the runners, I know out of the 4 of us I'm the only one that did it, but like how many of the other runners ended up doing Aga to get silvers?
Probably, I don't want to say anyone else probably did. I would think that given just how your execution just really made you put in a lot of time, that we probably won't see anyone until like maybe after two hours probably grab silvers.
I mean, I originally did it. I went Aga because with there only like 2 or 3 places left to check, I was hoping that it was going to be an Aga seed, like Moon Pearl was going to be on Pyramid or something. Since I knew silvers were in Aga Cave anyway, I decided to go for it in hopes that it would be an Aga seed required anyway. And I mean, it wasn't, so that didn't pay off, but the silvers definitely saved me time on some of the end bosses and Ganon.
So silvers saves about a minute and a half, I want to say, on Ganon. Might be less. It might be closer to 45. But it's but when you factor in everything else, those silvers can save quite a bit of time, especially in this mode. You can get them before a bunch of bosses. So you probably only lost like 2-3 minutes, depending on how good your execution was.
Yeah, and thankfully for when I got the bow, like the bosses that I could use silvers on were still needed to be done. So I was able to save a tiny amount of time with that too. So I'm not upset that I did Aga, like at all. I just I wish it was Aga required, so I wasn't the only one that did it. And
another thing is, I also like to point out Solsky did some suede strat with the bud net. Try to catch the bat on its way out. Unfortunately, can't do that. He is unfortunately not just sub 2, but dang, did he try? Because he was real close there. He's gonna enter Ganon in about 2 hours. Yeah, he's dropping off at 2:03. Very, very close.
Also, I want to point out we have Chisami in the chat now. GG.
GG's. Oh man, that was rough. I don't. After that Death Mountain death, everything went downhill.
It was a really hard seed. I'm not surprised so many people forfeited. from this race, to be honest.
I actually don't think it was that bad. I had my tracker marked properly that pod was a pendant, but I went in thinking it was a crystal, and then it was too late. I was too deep.
I almost did the same thing. I was going straight to it before swamp, and I realized as I was about to go there that it was pendant.
I was like, oh, it's pendant. I guess even if Helmastar has an item, I guess I don't kill him. I guess I'll check Ped now. And then I was like, oh, Hippos has done sub 130. Great, I've done everything wrong. I guess I know what I'm doing now. I guess we just finish up the game.
Oh man, I have no idea how people can finish so quickly.
I don't
I
either.
mean, yeah, Boy did really great routing, but still, it's 20 minutes over Hippo.
Yeah, 22-minute difference still. I was like, ah.
Based on what it sounds like, Hippo gambles a lot, so he probably got the mirror early, just like Void. Got the Moon Pearl, got the flippers right away, and like because it sounds like everyone delayed Green Pendant. He probably put it in immediately.
Yeah, that's the other thing that got me too. I did early Thieves Town, and I was like, eventually I'll route over and do SAS, and I did everything but SAS, and I was eating myself.
So that's what I'm guessing. By the sounds of it, sounds like if you sequence broke, went to Death Mountain, went to Thieves Town, which was just common, get the Green Pendant. Completing Green Pendant Thieves Town is usually the right play. Almost every Green Pendant Thieves Town I've encountered completing it is
I'm not going to ignore that. I wasn't even racing
that's
either.
5 items for like no time investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just add it to your route going to South Dark World.
Yep. Yeah, I mean... So I would
Soski's
definitely...
about to finish his seed, and I really want what he
is
has
really
to
close
say,
time. Please don't.
and if it's going to be against Twitch TOS or not. There we go. We got the clear. What looks like he's finishing 24th with 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 54 seconds. I'm sure he's very happy to be done with this.
Yeah, it's a pretty weird seed. Not really brutal, just long.
Yeah, it was. You had to go in a specific path for a while, and you didn't really have to deviate except for the Thieves Town dip.
Yep.
But yeah, not go moding ice. That was painful.
Oh. Ice is never fun.
Salty comes in. He may just want a salty run back right away. Who knows?
There was actually some people that forfeited from the race that went ahead and made it. But GG to all of you. This was a pretty rough seed. Looks like.
I'm not gonna lie, me playing against my usual styles basically is the only thing that saved me, because if I had gone to Eastern first, I would have gotten a Green Pendant and never checked it.
Yeah,
I don't know what all the people like. I love version 29. My average with 28 was like 210 every run, and since 29 came out, I've been getting like 145, 150, everything. I don't know what the difference is, but it just suits my playstyle so much more.
From what I've been hearing, it's more, a little bit more overworld heavy, but...
It does feel that way. That hype cape was great.
This one felt like I had to dive every freaking dungeon.
This one had a lot of stuff in the overworld still, because it gave us like 1 billion weapons right at the start. Here's a sword, here's a hammer, fire rod,
sword.
Here's two more swords. Yeah,
funny comment, I didn't know you couldn't use sword before you got to Uncle. So I tried to slash a couple bushes, and I was like, what's going on? I thought I broke my game already.
Yeah, I didn't even bother picking it up after I did that. I was just like, no, I'm just going to walk around it. You get to live, Bush.
I tried to slash twice, and then I was like, forget this, I'm lifting all 3 of you.
I did the same thing. You learn something. I've been doing this, I mean, this is every night for 4 months now, and it's just like, I still didn't know that. Something new every time, man.
That's the first time I've ever had sword before Uncle, so...
I just saw a sword and got excited. It's like, oh man, I'm going to use this right away, and the game's just like, no. You have to wait.
Well, did everyone just use sword for escape? Because I liberally used fire rod.
I threw fire rod out a couple of times.
I threw fire rod out for anything that wasn't a green soldier.
Well, I don't see that Solski is coming in, which is fine. GG to everyone finishing this race, sticking with it, despite just the rough tendencies of it. Any closing thoughts before we go ahead and close this out?
I'm never skipping Thieves Town again.
Uh,
Plain
if-
and simple.
I never skip Thieves Town, but if Thieves Town is a green pendant, don't go. Remember to go to SAS.
Good point. Also, I'm never skipping Left Side Swamp either.
No, always skip left side swamp and then go back in.
I got so
That was the hard
paranoid when I
sympathy
jumped
of
down
our
from there.
Audience for that.
I got the flute out of there and was just like, I'm gonna just, you know, leave now. I'm just gonna pretend I'm in go mode. Then I got to Maya, I was like, wait, I don't have ether. Please don't be ether.
Oh, I picked up
We
I
were
picked up
thinking about that
flute.
too.
I picked up flute and I was like, nope, I'm in go mode. I don't care what ether is. I mean, I don't know what ether is.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone picked up ether. At least that I can see. Actually, no. Someone marked it on yours, Scrub.
Oh, did I mark? Oh. I did not
Oh, no.
pick it up. I definitely did not pick up either.
So that's the question, whether or not you're in go mode.
Did I? I don't think I picked. I didn't mark that I
I
picked
don't
it
think
up.
so. Because because GT didn't have. I mean, we just went immediately to
Yeah,
the climb,
GT
pretty much.
Yeah, GT was go mode.
But well, thanks for being featured on our stream. GG's to all of you. Thanks to Yoko for doing most of the commentary and Zelnas for coming in too.
Yo.
Our two trackers. Let's go ahead and put them in chat. We had a Maximini and maybe or not doing our tracker. So thank you for that. Definitely shoot a follow over to our 4 runners. If you want to see more rando. And yeah, it's been great.
All right, thanks, man. Have a good night, everyone.
GG everyone. Good night.
GG's everyone. Thanks for everything.
Don't
Have a
forget
good
that
rest of your week, everybody.
Just a quick note, if you still want to join the standard randomized swords, you can join the wait-in list. So if people drop, then you get automatically added in. So make sure to do that. And continue to watch. And then the NMG tournament. So have a nice night, everyone.
Have a good one.